Well, it is our last day here in Arizona. We got to go get the U-Haul trailer because the buyer for the truck's coming to pick that up sometime before the house closes. So I'm leaving that there, but we're driving Ellen's new vehicle back, pulling a U-Haul trailer with a little bit of stuff that we have. So we got to go pick that up, and then we're going to spend today packing everything up, getting everything ready before we head back to Minnesota to start the farming season, our second official farming season. This year, we're going to be planting closer to 100 acres of corn, and I've never done it before. We'll see how it goes. First, let's go get the U-Haul trailer. We've owned this house here in Arizona for almost 3 years, and we bought it after we did full-time RVing for about a year, and we drove the RV to Phoenix to visit my wife's brother and his family who live here. And we just remembered when we got here, we're like, man, we just love it here. Every time we come here, the sun is shining, it's warm. It's just really a beautiful place. And so we thought, you know what, let's buy an investment property here. I guess I would call it like a lifestyle asset where, unlike other rental properties we've owned, this one was partially meant for us to be able to use it. And so we've been able to do that quite a bit. The rental market has softened a bit, and then with our focus on farming, we just thought, you know what, maybe it's time to make a shift and sell the property here. So we did that. It's closing in April, and perfect timing for us to get back to the farm and kind of be done with the property here. So we've owned a lot of other properties before, mostly where we live in Minnesota. As I built my real estate business, I would use money that I made in that business to purchase investment properties. We had, God's blessing on a number of them where we would buy them, either fix them up and sell them, or hold them as rentals, long-term rentals, and then sell them after the market increased dramatically. And so the timing of all that worked out pretty good there. And that was one of the big reasons we were able to buy a farm, was because of the market increasing after we bought some of those properties. Before we bought the farm, in fact, before we left and traveled for a year in an RV with our family, with our kiddos, we sold all the rentals and kind of cashed in on all that equity that was built. So all that has snowballed into us being able to purchase a 150-acre farm and all the equipment and just start farming. We're definitely going to miss Arizona, though. I mean, like I said, it's always so nice here. It is also one of the reasons I like crop farming versus livestock farming. The freedom in the winter to leave Minnesota is just really important to me. And so, or at least it has been. I don't know. If I had other things going on in the winter, would that make it better, easier? I'm not sure. There it is. Lots of U-Hauls. All right, U-Haul trailer is in the back. So now we just got to go home and load it all up. Once the U-Haul was all loaded, we woke up early and hit the road for about a 24-hour drive back to Minnesota. One of the things I shared with you in a previous video was that I bought a new farm truck, sight unseen, off of Facebook Marketplace. I was excited to get back and see if it was in the condition that I expected. We're getting close, and when we get there, we're going to have to see what this truck looks like and make sure the house is still standing, make sure there aren't any mice or anything inside the house and stuff like that. So turn the water on, make sure nothing froze, all that stuff. Looks like the neighbors already plowed their field, so they're getting ready. We got any weeds in the fields yet? I don't see no weeds yet. That's good. It hasn't been warm enough for that. I was a little nervous we were going to get here and it's just going to be full of weeds already, but I feel like at this time last year, the weeds were already popping up, and there might be small ones already. Here we are. It's in the red building. There it is, sitting right in the end. Ooh, the back bumper's like dead.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Dented down.
That's fine.
That's not a big deal. All right, let's go see what this truck is all about. There she is. This is going to be rusty but trusty, right? Oh yeah, she's a little rusty. Look, check that out. Look at the footboards he put on there to get in and out. Newer tires, he said. Hey, Noah, this is your new car. It's pretty rusty. Oh boy, look at this whole bottom thing's, oh my goodness. Yeah, she's seen better days, but that's great for a farm truck. Like, it's exactly, man, that picture must have been taken a long time ago, because in the photo, none of this rust was here. which again, it's fine. It's a farm truck, but mostly does it run good? Does the four-wheel drive work? Oh boy. Now I made a mess. We'll just leave it like that for now. Yeah. She's rusty. It's got a tonneau cover. Yeah. I mean, the bed's not all rusted out.
Yeah, the bed looks fine. There's a little bit in there.
Yeah, that won't hurt nothing.
Check out the back.
Okay, the door doesn't work on this side. I'm sure it's fixable. Let's see if it starts or if the battery's dead. Hey, sounds good.
I hear a little tick.
Ticking won't hurt nothing.
Yeah.
Is it locked? It's got a new battery.
I think it'll
Maybe it's just sticky. There we go. Maybe the other side, that's all it was too. I mean, it's pretty clean.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
All right, should we see how it drives?
Yeah.
Jump in. Let's go take it for a test. Ooh, check engine lights on. That's always a good farm truck sign. Service the brake system. Okay, it's got that. We got a check engine light. The brake light's on, the ABS light's on. There's some lights that are on. They didn't mention that, but that's all right. I want to find out if the four-wheel drive works though. So the way we do that is figure out where the four-wheel drive. Okay, so we put it into four-wheel drive high. Uh-oh, it's not even going in. Something's happening.
I heard something. Yeah.
Okay, so now if I turn sharp, we should feel it kind of like grabbing. That'll tell us that the four-wheel drive's working. Let's see if that works. Feel it?
Yeah.
It's working. Well, that's good. That was my biggest thing, is making sure that the four-wheel drive worked. Now it won't go into two-wheel drive. There, now it is. I kind of had to just push it a couple times. There, now we're back in two-wheel drive.
Pretty comfortable back here.
I mean, it's a farm truck. What can I say?
There's no seatbelt.
It'll be a great farm truck. Right. Oh, my goodness. Don't stand on the bumper.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. My foot just went right
good.
through the bumper. How about this side?
Oh, well, yeah, that one's going to fall.
Maybe I can take the bumper off. It's a little rougher than I was thinking, but hey, it'll work. All right, we're gonna clean up some of this rust too. There's just a big old piece of metal from the bottom of this, and I want to get rid of these ugly running boards too on the new farm truck. So let's go ahead and do that. It's getting there. All right. That's, oh my goodness. That's just where the body, as my brother-in-law would say, this one came with an active weight reduction system. It's a lot of rust. All right, next I want to get these ugly running boards off, and they're like custom made, welded onto the frame. So this time I think I'm gonna have to use the Sawzall. Oh, there we go. Probably shouldn't be taking more metal off this truck because there isn't a lot left, but those were ugly. There we go. No more ugly running boards. So we finally made it back to the farm. Today's day one and it's 78 degrees outside. So that's a nice warm welcome coming back from Phoenix, where it was, you know, in the 70s and 80s all winter. But now we've got some work to do. We've got spring is coming quick, although it does sound like there's supposed to be snow again this weekend. So I think I've got a little time, but basically what we got to do is this field here is going to be planted this spring. I've never planted corn before. We did soybeans last year as our very first year. If you want to watch the full first year's planting season and harvest season, click the link on one of the corners, wherever it pops up. But we have got to get this field ready. And right now there's a bunch of fencing down here, if you can see it, where the pastures are. And so we need to open this up and get rid of that fencing. So that's the job for today, because once that's done, then we got to decide if we're going to plow this field, if I'm just going to plant right into it. I don't really know. I probably should have sprayed it in the fall so that over the winter it killed it off. I didn't do that. From what I understand, that would have made it easier to plant into or to like till up. But I just talked to my neighbor, who is a 90-year-old farmer who's been doing this forever. And he said, yes, I should have sprayed it, but what I could do is plow it and use a millboard plow, which I think is this big shovel plow. It flips everything over and then you get fresh dirt. I don't know. So something like that, and then maybe disc over it. Well, the problem is I don't own either one of those types of field attachments or field equipment pieces. And so either I have to find out if somebody has one I can rent, or I need to buy some. So that's the job for today, is to start to get this field ready, because we are going to add this field to the mix this year. Last year we did about 80 acres. I'm planning to do this field and maybe one other to add another 20 this year and slowly convert some of this pasture that we just aren't going to use into tillable. So let's get started. We're going to use the Bobcat Toolcat today and have a chain attached to the front where we can lift these posts and everything right out of the ground. So we'll see how that works. Here we go. All right, so you definitely are going to need some gloves. I need to find some sort of chain, because then we could, basically my thought is we'd wrap the chain around the bottom of the thing of the Bobcat, the plate. Oh, here's some chain right here. I was thinking we could like somehow wrap this around the Bobtac plate on the front, and then wrap it around the post, the T-post, and just pull. Start this up and get this warmed up. So the first thing we got to do is basically unloop this wire and then roll the wire up, because I'll keep the wire. You're just going to pinch this, pull it off. That's it. And then why don't we grab them if we can too, because that way I don't drive over them and pop a tire. It's probably a technique to rolling up barbed wire, and I don't know what that is, but... All right, I think I found a little better way to do this. Before, when I was wrapping kind of on the side, and then it was coming loose. So now I'm pulling tight and just wrapping right on the top edge, and it seems to hold it together a lot more. So instead of being on the side, I'm kind of trying to do it right on the bottom, and that seems to work pretty good. All right, one more line and then we can start pulling posts out of here. There's so many fences on this farm because it is set up for cattle that way. The reason, from what I understand, is that when you raise cattle or horses or anything like that, you want to use what's called paddocks, which is like different smaller pastures. That way they don't overeat. Because if you just let them out to a giant pasture, they'll just eat the whole time they're out there. Where if you limit it to one little spot, they can eat that area, let the other areas grow, and then you move them to the next areas. Let's see if we can get this post out. So I'm thinking, how do we want to do this? Probably towards the bottom, if it's kind of wrapped on itself. And that should pull. And then we can wrap it on here. Again, kind of wrap it over itself, like that. And why don't you come forward a little bit? There you go. Now you're going to come forward with the gas pedal a little bit. Keep coming, keep coming. Stop. Now you're going to use the joystick to pull back, and it should start lifting. There we go. Keep going a little faster. Slow now. Go ahead, pull. All right, stop. It's slipping off. Okay, try it again. Up. There we go. Look at that. Pulls it out like butter. There we go. All right, you can lower it. All right, we're gonna drive up there. All right, go ahead and lift. There you go. It's good. Lift, keep going. This one's in there good. Maybe I gotta try to loosen it up a little bit. It's coming, it's coming. There we go. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. You're slipping. Try to go backwards. Stop, stop, stop. All right, jump out. I think we're getting stuck. So I've always seen these, you know, when you go out in the country and you look at fences, there's all these weird, like, just, it almost looks like this was a post and it broke off and it's just left here. But actually, the farmers were smart. They knew that at the end of a fence line, they had to have a really solid brace point, which is what this H pattern is. Now you can see it's tilted. Normally it'd be straight up, but then they would use this wire from here at an angle down to the bottom of the other post where it was very solid to really pull this back, right? Because if you think about it, the base of the post is very solid and the top would not be. And so it'd have a tendency to pull this way. So they put this brace in to hold this one, I think. And then I think that would also help hold this. And then when they would do this cross wire, they would use this in the field to tighten it. So they would just twist this, I guess it'd be this way, over and over until it tightened that so much that it was just really full of tension on this cross piece here. And that way it would really pull the tension tight on that post. So, you know, if ever you see an old, what looks like a broken post, it's actually just a stick they would have found and used to tighten that down. There's probably a name for whatever that is, or this whole setup. I don't know what it is. There's probably some kind of name for it. Noah, if you want to start pulling those plastic or those things off again.
You want me to start on the top or
Yes,
the
please, top. It's getting hot out here. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off. There we go. So now that's loose. Oh, we are gonna need to, hey Noah, actually, could you come down here and we need to get some of these staples out.
Sure.
So one thing you can do is kind of like almost hammer it, slide it across the wood and get it in there and then pull it out. If it's hard to get in there, here you go. Oops, heads up. And then this one too. There we go, and I think there's gonna be another one over here for this wire. There you go. We'll do whatever works. If you just, your other method might have been fine. There you go. Okay. I mean, one of the reasons we started the farming YouTube channel was to have a memory for us, but you know, that way we could go back and watch it and just enjoy. We love looking at pictures and old videos on our phones and stuff of things we've done. So that's part of it. But the other part is to just show people that you could do this. I know there's a whole financial aspect. I know that there's a whole like learning curve aspect. And that's really what I'm here to try to help, you know, inspire people on, is that farming is hard. I have a whole new respect for farmers as I've started to do this, but it is doable. Even if you don't know what you're doing. I don't know anything about fencing, you know, and that's just a small piece of the overall part of farming. But like, I've never done anything I'm doing before. And I'm really trying to do it without getting a lot of outside help, just to prove a point. that you can figure this out. Now I'm getting outside help. I just went and asked a neighbor today about turning some sod area into tillable, and he gave me some tips, but I'm just kind of, you know, trying to learn as I go, make mistakes, learn more to just prove a point to myself and to others that it is doable. Anything is figure outable if you just stick with it and have the right attitude around it, have the right expectation that it's going to be difficult. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying farming is easy by any means, and I'm going to make mistakes, and it's going to cost me money, and it's going to be a challenge, but mostly I just want people to know, like, you can do stuff. You have a lot of God-given talents and abilities. The problem is most people tell themselves they can't do something. So if you're thinking about becoming a farmer someday, yes, there's a lot of roadblocks, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of things you got to do to get to that point, just like we did, to be able to afford it, to be able to learn certain skills, to be able to have the desire to do it, all those things, but it is doable. Look at that. That's fun. I looked everywhere. Where'd you find it?
I'm on the hill over there.
Oh, on the hill. Nice. Yeah, I bet there's more. If you explore more, keep exploring, you'll find them. All right, well, the boys are back there finishing up the last row of fence line. So we got a ton of fence out today. So this whole, we call this the lower bowl area because it's like the lower section. Our house is up there on the hill. And so this is just kind of a big, huge bowl down here that we're gonna convert from this sod to tillable and plant another 20 acres or so of corn down here this year and expand the tillable land on the property. And I don't know, to me, it just makes sense. I don't want to have animals. I just don't, because it's a whole nother type of farming I'm just not ready for. We have like 40 other acres of pasture beyond this that we could use if we ever decided to do that. And tillable land is just worth more than pasture land. So why wouldn't I want to improve it and convert it? It just seems obvious to me. Now, again, if you were planning to, I guess if you're planning to have livestock, then that maybe wouldn't make as much sense and you could make more money with livestock. I just like the lifestyle of being a crop farmer. It just seems a way better fit for us. I love to travel in the winter. I do not want to be here dealing with animals. I love, being able to take off for a week or two in the summer. That's a lot more difficult with animals. So with all that said, that is why we are converting the pasture. So we are almost done and we'll be able to call it a day. And then next step is going to be to, I guess, plow this field. I've heard some people say I could just no-till plant right into it. A lot of people said I should have sprayed last fall to kill it. But if I buy a bottom plow, there's another word for it, I can't remember what it is, but if I buy one of those, basically it's gonna dig deep into the ground and flip the sod over, exposing fresh dirt so that I can then plant into that. I gotta find one. Hopefully there's one locally I can buy. We'll see how much they are. And that's the next step to get this side ready for planting in just a few weeks. There we are, down to the last. This is the very last post, and these two brothers are learning to work together. So far, it's okay. Couple little spats with each other, but they'll have good memories of doing this when they get older. Ooh, it's a tough one. Oh, they got it. Atta boy. Is that it?
There's one big one. It looks like Noah's big.
Well, we got everything cleaned up, and it's not the end of the day yet, so might as well fire up the tractor, see if that pops off here without anything. And then we can start figuring out this planter and get that all ready. I did put a mouse trap down there and there's nothing in there. The peanut butter's still in there too, so let's see what happens when we try to fire it up here. Fires right up. This thing is a pretty sweet little tractor, really. And we'll just back it out. Fun to be back in this tractor. I've missed it over the winter for sure. It's just something about a tractor. This is a 1999. It's got just over 5,000 hours, and it's a pretty nice tractor. It's in pretty good shape, I think. And we did a bit of work to it last year, or had a bit of work done to it, so If you want to watch that video, it's right here. I'll show you exactly how much I spent last year, my first year, getting this thing kind of cleaned up and fixed up. It's looking good. I don't see any leaks. Probably be a good idea to get the planter out. I don't know. Figure out what all I need to do to this thing. I definitely need to grease everything, and I need to replace a chain. There's a chain like this one that's a drive chain that kind of runs the whole thing as you're driving, and the one over here broke last year, so there isn't even one on that wheel. And then I need to, as I mentioned before, I got to replumb some of the lines so that the up down goes with the side markers. So that is got to get done. Well, I feel good about what we got done today. I sometimes get overwhelmed by everything that, you know, I've got to learn as I figure this out. This year being my first year ever planting corn, I'm definitely on another learning curve with that. But overall, I think we know what we're doing, and it's just a bunch of trial and error. But I think that's just how I tend to learn. So feeling a little bit better today, accomplishing something. Sometimes in life, it's just like those little things. When I get overwhelmed, just some sort of progress just changes everything. It makes me feel, you know, a lot better right away. So we got the fence down, we got the tractor moved, everything is running, so we know batteries are good. And I got the planter in a spot that's has a little bit more light in my shop, so that I can start working on it if it is in fact gonna rain and snow over the next couple days. So should be good. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along our rookie farming journey. Technically, this is our second year, but first year ever planting corn, so it feels like a whole new start. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.